Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we have an amazing episode. You are going to be so glad you joined in. You're going to be so inspired. We have Bianca from season 7 of The Biggest Transformation with us. She was our little mama who got started when she joined the program. She was pregnant and she wound up losing 38 pounds inside of 6 months, having the baby, going through the pregnancy. And we have some questions that we're going to get how she did it, what was the difference between that and her other pregnancy? What did her doctors say? Anytime you're losing weight during the pregnancy, like how did that go? We're going to find out all here in just a moment. So without further ado, Bianca, welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Good. So good to see you. Every time I look at your face, I'm like, oh, your face is so little. Do
I know,
you
it's surprising how small it's become. I don't know.
still, when you look at your face, like, is it because it's been gradual, or like, so do you recognize it, or is it when you see photos? Like, when do you notice the biggest difference?
I think when I look at photos is when I see the biggest difference because I think a month before I started the program, we had gone to Disneyland and I looked at my photo and I was like, whoa, there's a big difference. I'm down a double chin. So I was like, wow. I can't believe it, but you did a great job. So,
You did do an
yeah, being part
incredible
of the program was awesome.
And I love that I'm down a double chin. I'm no longer carrying that thing around with me. So they obviously just heard in the intro, 38 pounds in 6 months, 24 weeks. You started the program 24 weeks pregnant. And so
Hmm.
let's go ahead and I guess we should start there, because so often when people are pregnant, they're planning on gaining weight. So how did you wind up in the place where you're, halfway through the pregnancy and you're like, I need to lose weight? Like, how did that whole thing come about?
I think after that trip that we got back from Disneyland, I told myself I was like, "Hey, like you're in the military. This is your job." This past pregnancy didn't go as expected because they give us a year to lose the weight after we have the baby. And I just kept telling myself, well, I'm gonna lose the weight, I'm gonna lose the weight, I'm gonna lose the weight. But the weight and I think I was up 20, 30 pounds from my previous weight. And I was just like, something has to change. Something has to change. So what I did was, I was like, well, you're pregnant, but you could start the habits now. Like you can start the habits to become healthy again now. So when you do have the baby, it'll be a lot easier and it'll be an easier transition because you already built those habits and, you can go from there. So I looked up on YouTube and I was like, weight loss while pregnant. And that's where I found the interview with you and Danielle. And I was hooked. I was hooked since then. And then luckily, I think you had only posted about the applications being open for a day. And I was like, I have to do it. I have to do it and try to see, if I can get in because this is awesome. So that's kind of what started that kind of domino effect of everything happening.
Isn't that crazy? Like, you get this idea after this trip of, I'm going to get the habits while I'm pregnant so that when I'm done having the baby, I can lose the weight. You found an interview. Phil, so often we find something and we're like, maybe should I? And then the opportunity passes us. But no, you were like on it. You got into the program. So, and it's so funny to me because you didn't pick this like, for those that don't know, the biggest transformation is not some like, go at your own pace, have a good day. Like, it's a pretty intense. So, like, were you ever nervous about doing the program while being pregnant?
Uh, yes, I did have my reservations. I was like, I don't know what it's about, but you know what? I mean, I guess I'll try it. she's saying, that we'll get results. And I'm just like, I just have to follow what she has to say. And, there are, if you are pregnant, there are a little bit like kind of modifications. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just follow it and, hope that it works. But I mean, it worked wonderfully. So I'm here today, postpartum, I think 4 months last week, down, still. And I'm just like, okay, well, we got it.
Well, and so you were losing weight while you were pregnant, right? And what was the doctor's
Yes.
response, Bianca, when you would go in and you're like down again, and you're healthy and the baby's healthy? Like, what was their response?
She's like, she told me because I told her I'm going to be a part of this accountability group. And she's like, okay, go for it. And I think the next time that I saw her, she was like, oh my gosh, the accountability group's really working. I'm like, yeah, it is. She's like, all your levels are like super good. Like, last time I was gestational diabetic. And she's like, yeah, we don't have to worry. I'm like, everything's healthy. You're fine. I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you. She was like, I can't believe that. Who can say that they lost weight while pregnant? Usually women are gaining weight. She's like, you're doing a great job. I'm like, well, thank you so much. I do receive that.
Well, and so often when we're overweight, we don't look forward to going. Like, we want to go see the baby, but we don't want to, the
Mhm.
gestational diabetes and the high blood pressure and the swelling. And so, did you find yourself looking forward to going to the doctor's appointments more because, like, you knew you'd have all these good reports?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. I'm excited this time around. I felt a lot better, I felt just a lot better overall. So I was
Well,
excited.
and what would you say? Because, I went through my first two pregnancies morbidly obese, and then I went through my third pregnancy at a healthy weight. And so I know what the differences were for me. And I've done a whole video on that. But what would you say were the biggest differences for you going through a pregnancy heavier and gaining weight, and then a pregnancy like this?
I think my energy overall this time around was a lot better, and I was able to move a lot like better, like mobility and stuff like that. I think from the exercising it really, really helped. Because I did have some back pain previous to, this pregnancy as well, but it wasn't as exacerbated as the pregnancy before. And because I had back-to-back pregnancies, and this time around, I felt a lot better, a lot healthier. I think I looked a lot healthier because I got a lot of compliments on my skin. It's probably because of the water, drinking a lot of water. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. I just this time around was a lot more energetic, for sure. For
And
sure.
how was
I
the
can say that.
swelling? How was the swelling? Paying attention to your nutrition, working out, drinking the water. What was the swelling like for you on the second pregnancy?
This time around, I didn't have any swelling at all, like at all. No swelling. Even after postpartum, I thought I would have swelling. I didn't have any swelling. So that was a difference.
You understand, to most pregnant people, that's like a miracle. Like, because most of the time we're so swollen, and the
Yeah.
ankles and the wrists and the face, and so you know, I don't. I just think so many people that have went through the program, Danielle, myself, Catherine, you, one of the we have in season 8, Scholar. She was having extreme swelling within 2 weeks of starting the program. Her swelling literally went away, like wham bam, like gone. And her doctors were like, "Oh my gosh, please tell Carmen,
Oh,
thank you."
wow.
And so, like, that's such a testament, though, of the program, drinking the water, and then working out. You worked out pregnant like the entire 9 months. Well, from 24 weeks on.
Yeah.
How was that, working out with a
Yeah.
baby in your belly?
Well, I think we did the group call, and I think you saw me try to jump up and do burpees, but I don't know, I felt great. I was like, you know what? I was made to do hard things. I can do this. This is not something that is I'm taking lightly. I'm taking it seriously. So when I saw that in myself, I was just like, wow, like I can really do this pregnant. Like I can work out, I can maintain this. I can't have any excuses after this because it's like, who says, oh, well, I can't do it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you were pregnant, like girlfriend, and you worked out every single day for I was like, wow, I can really do this. This is I can maintain it after the baby comes.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I
yeah,
remember
it was
you
exciting.
saying after you had the baby, like first off, you looked incredible, right? Like I remember seeing you up and trying on clothes, and the military gives you 1 year to get back to the healthy weight that they deem as healthy, right? But so one day, I don't know how many weeks it was, you'll tell us, but you
Yes.
decided to try on your pants, your military pants. And you
Hmm.
were only like,
Yeah.
tell us about, I can't remember all the details. I know you do though. So tell us the
Yeah.
details. You tried on the pants.
I
Far after.
think I was probably I want to say 6 weeks postpartum. And I had before my first pregnancy, I had gone on a shopping spree. I was like, okay, then I got pregnant and I gained weight. And after that pregnancy, I could not fit into much of anything. Like I did like the little um there's like a little trick for like, if you don't fit into jeans, you can like put like an elastic and then have it stick. And I was like, you know what? Let me just try it. Let me try on the jeans that I bought prior to the pregnancy and my shopping spree. I was like, okay, let me see. I mean, I'm not gonna, have any high expectations. I put them on and they fit. And I was like, whoa, whoa. I was just mind blown because I'm like, wow, I didn't expect this. Because last, postpartum time period, the weight did not come off. It was just gradual, 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 and then I stayed a certain weight for a while. So I didn't expect it, and it kind of blew me away. And my husband, he was like, "What?" He's like, "You look great." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." So yeah, it was very exciting. And then I think a few weeks later, my mom had actually bought me, I think they were size 8 because that was size 10. Then she bought me size 8, and I tried some shorts on that she had gotten me, and I was like, "Oh, these are a little too loose." And she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll go take it back for a different size." I was like, "Oh wow, I didn't realize." But she's like, "You're doing great." I'm like, "Okay, well, yeah, yeah, this feels nice."
Well, and just to clarify, so when she's saying she went on the shopping spree before her first pregnancy, so the pregnancy she started the program was with the second pregnancy. So prior to the first pregnancy,
Mhm.
what size would you say you were? A 10, you said?
Ooh, prior, I think probably a 10, 10, yeah,
So prior to becoming a
10.
mom, she was about a size 10, hardworking. Then she got pregnant, hardworking military woman, got pregnant with the first one. The weight did not come off, even though she obviously tried. And so then she got pregnant the second time. And that's where she wanted to develop the healthy habits. And so within 8 weeks, I think 6 to 8 weeks, you were already putting on size 10s and then 8s, which were too big in less than 2 months after the
Yeah,
pregnancy. And so, and that
yeah.
is, what did the people at the military say? Like, did anybody say anything? Like, wow, you just had a baby. How are you already back in your military pants in less than 2 months?
Um, so I had my first day back at work this week, and everybody so far when I'm walking the halls because I work in a hospital, everybody does a double take right now because they're like, what? Wait, I had to do a double take because I didn't know that was you. They're like, you look so good. I was like, yeah. They're like, how old's your baby? I was like, oh, 4 months last week. And they're like, what? What? I'm like, they're like, what did you do? I was like, I just, I had healthy habits and, maintained, eating right and working out and drinking water and stuff like that. They're like, "You look so great." I'm like, "Well, thank you."
And I
So,
can
yeah,
only
it's
imagine
been fun this week.
I can only
Yeah.
imagine how good it feels, right? Like you can see your hard work, but for other people to recognize it. And would so often I get like because it's different when you're pregnant going through the program. Were you like starving? Were you famished? Did you feel like super deprived? Like, how was that with you with the food and the water and all that being pregnant?
Oh, no. No, I didn't feel deprived at all of anything. If not, I felt like some days I couldn't eat all of my food, honestly. Um, I don't know. I guess it's because like the food that we choose is a lot more nutritionally dense and, a lot better and healthier. So it's not like you're eating empty carbs. You're actually eating good, sustainable food and, having a shake with all these nutrients. And it's like, okay, yeah, yeah, I could do this. Sometimes, some days it was hard for me to finish my food because pregnancy does have a little bit of modifications, like I said. But yeah, it was hard sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, how can I eat this? But it was good, all good food. So I never felt deprived.
Well, and I love that we answered that because so often people do feel like it. I think it's a fear, like I'm not going to get enough food, or especially I'm pregnant. Am I not going to nourish the baby, or am I not going to be nourished? I'm eating for two, and so I love that. That wasn't the case. And then your husband. So when you got started, he is like, okay, do your thing, Bianca. But how has he responded to this whole thing?
Um, I think he's been a little bit convicted because he's like, "Oh my gosh, you look so great." He's like, "Oh, I need to lose weight now." I'm like, "Oh," I said, "You don't need to lose weight. Like, I love you the way you are." He's like, "Yeah, but you look so good now." So it's like, they're gonna look at me and say like, "What?" I was like, "Oh my gosh." You're funny, but no, he's actually been, pushed to go to the gym a lot more and then eat a little bit healthier as well. So, yeah, he makes me laugh, but, yeah, he's been doing great. He lost about, 15 pounds. Yeah.
It's incredible. That is incredible. And what would
Mhm.
you say for you, Bianca? Because there's people watching that are pregnant or they've struggled with their weight. So, what would you say was the biggest difference for you in, because between the last pregnancy, it's not like you didn't try to lose the weight. What was the biggest difference for you to actually have this kind of
Mhm.
success to lose the 38 pounds? Like, what was the biggest difference?
I think one was probably the accountability group, the fact that we had to, check in with each other, and I know, like, just having that community, that sense of community helped a lot more because we were all, the same in the same boat, essentially, just different stories, and, just having that accountability, I think, was one of the biggest, changes from what I was doing before because I was doing it by myself, and it just was not working. So I was like, "You know what? Yeah, it is accountability." I think that kinda makes this program, like, really, really great. But yeah, just having people to turn to because you are in the same boat and you're all trying to lose weight at the same time, but
Mhm.
different stories, different backgrounds. Like Catherine, she got pregnant while we were while we were in the program. So, and then she's a mom of four, you know, and it's like, oh my gosh, this girl is super inspiring, at least to me, and Jewel and everybody. I like the sense of community.
Yeah. And then what would you say to somebody who's either pregnant and wanting to lose weight? What advice would you give them? Or somebody who's just trying to lose weight after pregnancy? Like, what would be one piece of advice that you would give them on where to start, what to do?
Um, I would say to just do it. Just do it, don't think about it, and just do it. If you are applying for the program, apply. But there are other avenues, but just stop thinking about it and put yourself first for a change. I know for us moms and, working and taking care of kids and just playing multiple different roles in our life, um, we can kind of put ourselves on the back burner a lot of the time. So just put yourself first because at the end of the day, I always like this. I always like saying this, but we have to put our mask on first before we can help other people. And if we're healthy, then we can help a lot more people. If we're healthy and mentally and physically there, we can be there a lot more for our kids or husband or people at work.
110%. And my last question, what's next? What's next for you?
What's next? So I'm in a transitioning period, but I've actually hired a personal trainer to kind of bump up my exercise intensity level and also that accountability level because because our test, our fitness test here in the Army, is a little bit more intense um, than I remember it being, because it changed. So it's more of like a CrossFit based test. So I have been actually working with him to work at doing well at that test, for promotion and doing stuff like that. So I've bumped up the intensity of working out, and I've still been following with the food and stuff like that. So I've seen a little bit of a plateau, but you know what? It's still going down and body fat percentage is going down as well. So that's awesome. I'm like, "Oh, wow. I did not realize, but this is so awesome." So,
That's amazing. Bianca, I'm so proud of you. It has been so fun to watch your journey, to watch you get started and, to watch you grow as a wife and a mom because, you didn't just lose weight, like you grew in so many other areas and having these little aspirations of starting your own business and like watching you walk it back into work this week and people having to do the double take. Like it's just, you have done so incredible and so very proud of you. You really are an inspiration, and I know the people watching are going to be inspired by your story and by your results and what a gift you could give to your entire family by letting them watch you go through this. And so I will link down below in the description box the wait list for the very next season of The Biggest Transformation. So if you want to do the same program Bianca did, you can fill that out down below. And anyway, Bianca, thank you for being on tonight. And for those of you watching, thank you for watching. We will be back same time, same place next week.